Welcome to the Get Sacred podcast. I'm your host, intuitive life coach Melissa Elysian, and I'm here to teach you how to create more money, more love, and more sacred success. If your inner goddess is ready to create a lusciously abundant and pleasure-filled life, you're in the right place. Hello there. This is the third episode of the Get Sacred podcast. I'm always excited to be with you. Thank you so much for being here. Today I want to talk to you about the idea of sacred success. If you are getting my newsletters or you stop by my page on IG, you'll hear that that's the way that I describe success. And I want to talk about why I use the term sacred success and why it's not the same as what everybody else is talking about. But before we do that, I want to celebrate just a little bit more. It's the third episode and I'm so excited because this week I just kept getting emails from Stitcher and Spotify and iTunes that my podcast is up, and I'm so stoked. I'm so excited to be able to just talk and share and teach in this way. I don't know what I was waiting for. I've been so thrilled. So that being what it is, as soon as you can, well, I guess as soon as you're done listening, I want you to stop by Stitcher or iTunes or wherever you're listening to get this podcast. And maybe, I don't know, when you're listening, maybe you already found it there. I'm just so stoked. In real time, it's just giving me such a giddy feeling. And it's definitely a testament to that first episode. If you haven't listened, my darling, please start before you're ready. That's what I did when I decided I was going to do this podcast. And it has been all of the magic that I say happens in that episode when you decide to start instead of just getting ready to get started. So catch that if you want to. Subscribe to the podcast too. But let's dive into this idea of sacred success. So before we do that, maybe just like a little bit about me. And I know that maybe in a few episodes in the future, I'll post something that I recorded in the past about it. But, you know, for years in my own life, I definitely remember just doing everything that I was told to do, or what society told me to do, what my parents told me to do, what I was influenced to do that would create success in my life. And a lot of that had to do with creating like a stable job and creating a certain income and having a certain kind of relationship. And I did it. You know, I did the work. I went to school. I picked the career that was stable. I made the income. And I was in the relationship. And I have to say that, you know, unsurprising probably to most people, because a lot of people run into this problem. I got into a part of my life where I had all of the things that I was waiting for. You know, I had spent so many years just getting ready and preparing and working really hard for this part of my life that was supposed to be really great because I had done all the things. And then I got there and I was burned out. I was really exhausted and I just wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled and I really couldn't live life on my terms. I thought magically that when I did all the things that I was supposed to do and I got to the end of doing all of that stuff that I'd be able to live life on my terms, and instead I just felt trapped. And I know that a lot of people resonate with this story, especially if you're in my generation, because a lot of us are like sitting on a whole bunch of student loan debt based off of the idea of what, you know, our education was going to bring us. And so I know it's common. And I know it's common for people who are not in my generation that, you know, we fall into this habit of kind of wanting to do the things that everybody thinks is going to look good and feel good, and only to find out that it doesn't fit us. And so with the idea of sacred success, the reason why I think it's sacred is the reason why I call what I teach and what I guide my clients to is sacred success. The reason why I call it sacred is because number one, we always give attention to the fact that you are divine, right? That we're divinely created, and that, you know, that we're having this human experience, but we're not limited by any way in it, right? And that our lives are really just this opportunity to tap into everything that's inside of us and to create something really magical and splendid. So it's sacred because you're divine. Two, that's the first thing. Two, it's sacred because it's unique to that divine spark, that divine spirit inside of you, right? It's sacred because that divine spark in you is completely unique. And I love that about us, and I love that about me. I love that the things that I'm called to, the things that I love about life, the things that I want to do, the things that I love in general, period, are completely different than what other people want, right? It's so magical to me that I'm called to do the work that I do and that I get to do it and that it's on my heart, and that there's other people who are called to do other things and it's on their heart. And what I know is true is that living your life in a way where you honor the things that you feel called to do, when you honor the things that you're passionate about, when you honor the things that give you pleasure, the things that give your unique divine spirit pleasure and purpose and happiness and joy and every other good thing, when you honor that, that's when you create sacred success, because you're living in alignment with who you really are. You're living in alignment with your full power and your potential, and you're living in alignment with your pleasure and your purpose. And that to me is sacred. And there's nothing sacred about working really hard just to blend in. There's nothing sacred about working really hard and creating a life that's not for you. Actually, it's really, really painful. Like I said earlier, I've done it. It doesn't feel good, and it's exhausting. It just feels so wrong to put so much time and effort and find out that it's not a good fit. And so the work that I do with my clients really is honoring who they are, right? Like if you work with me, the first thing that happens is I see you, right? I see you for the high priestess goddess that you are, and I honor her, and our work together is all about me helping you show up every single day as her, because I know that if you do that, you're going to create sacred success for yourself. And what that looks like for you is different for everybody, but what's important is that it's going to be right for you. So if that looks like you defining what kind of work life you have, you defining what kind of relationships you have. It's about where you live. It's about what you do. It's just how you make the most of your time here is how you create sacred success for yourself. So while I'm looking at you and I'm listening to you and you're sharing with me what's on your heart, what I do is hold space for all of those things, hold space for your purpose and your pleasure, and help you to create that. Because when you create your life from that perspective, honoring the things that you love, honoring the things that you're called to, then you get to create sacred success for yourself. It is very different than what everybody else is talking about. And I mean, just to give some time and attention to what everybody else is talking about, everybody else is talking about money, and everybody else is talking about love, and everybody else is talking about prestige and kind of fame. And I'm not saying that none of those things are on the table for you if you go after sacred success. As a matter of fact, I would say that you open yourself up to so much more possibility of those things by honoring who you are, your passions, your pleasures, your version of sacred success. But this is deeper. This is not just about getting monies for money's sake, right? This is about you making the kind of money you want to make so that you can live the life that you want to live, right? And so if that means you're making mad bread and you're barely spending it because you really like living in your tiny hometown where nothing costs anything and you're good, well, that's success for you. And I honor and I respect that. And for somebody else, maybe it's, having a business and actually being really, really well known and living in a really expensive part of town or living a big flashy life. If that's what calls your spirit, then that's your version of sacred success, and I honor that. But what we don't do is chase, or what I will keep you from doing and what I don't ever do anymore is chase after a version of success that really has no end game, right? I'm not making money for money's sake. I'm making money for the way that it aligns with my purpose, right? It allows me to give abundantly. It allows me to live abundantly. And that is sacred success for me, right? I don't just want people to know me. I want people to know me because I bless them with some type of knowledge, with some type of love, with some type of grace, with some type of freedom. I'm not just trying to get numbers of people to know my name. I want to make an impact. You don't need to know my name. You need to know that people don't need to know my name. People need to know that they are fully capable of creating everything that they want in their lives, and that they have the potential to do that inside of them more than they probably know. And I want them to know that more than I need them to know my name. Like, that's how I feel about it. But I know that's not the same for everybody. But that's my version of sacred success. I hope that you can see what I'm talking about. I think I've been clear. Sacred success is deeper. Sacred success is realer. Sacred success feels better, right? It feels better because it's for you, right? It's like a dress that's been tailored, and like, if you're hippie, it actually fits you on your waist. And if you're busty, it fits you on your waist and your hips. Like, I know you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, if you go to the store and you get the size and you got a little bit of like not the balance that every store thinks that we have, which, is whatever. It doesn't fit. But when you're defining sacred success for yourself, when you let go of what other people have decided they think is good for you, right? When you stop letting people tell you what you need, and when you stop looking at the world to describe what success looks like, then you can create your own version of sacred success. You can honor your personal divinity. You can honor the call on your life. You can honor God's will for you. You can honor your will for yourself, right? Your pleasures, your passion, your purpose, the things that call you. And that is such a higher vibration for life. That's way better. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for you. Now, with that, I'm just so excited about this. I'm going to be spending the next few weeks just sharing with you the work that I do in the Sacred Success course, because we're starting the next go around is going to be in January for the 2020 Sacred Success Circle. And it's going to be six weeks of high priestesses coming together and working through my Sacred Success course, where we talk about this idea of defining it for yourself, of letting go of other people's versions of sacred success for you, of how to like claim your divinity and your creative power to make the things that you want happen in your life, how to bring in the money that you want, how to bring in the love that you want in your life, and how to really live every day from the place of sacred success, how to make it so that you're not just creating goals and dreams that are just far out and waiting for the end game for you to be happy, how to live right now in a place of fulfillment and joy and peace and sacred success right now. I'm super excited about it. I always love doing it. I meet fabulous women. I just get to marvel at all of the things that we've been created for, all of the purposes, all of the pleasures, all of the passions. And I just freaking love it. And so that's what we're going to be doing. Enrollment is open right now, and anyone who enrolls anyone who enrolls right now actually gets access to my Let That Shit Go workshop, which I'm going to probably share in December. I'm just going to start helping people clear stuff out. That's the work I'm doing in my one-on-ones right now. The end of the year is all about making room for new things and deciding the things that you're ready to let go of and not take with you any further. And that can start right now. And if you sign up now, you'll get it before the end of the year, so you can start clearing out your life in the most delicious and freeing and wonderful way. Because, I mean, that's how manifestation works, right? Like, step one, make room. Get rid of the things you don't want. You'd be surprised how many things that you do want just show up in the place that you've created without you even having to do any more effort. Like, that's real. 100. That's what real. And I love it. So if that's something that you know that you're ready for and that you need, you're ready to create more money, more love, and more sacred success in your life, and you also are ready to start clearing some stuff out, I persuade you to sign up for the Sacred Circle. Just head to my website. You can go to melissaelysian.com/SSC. I'm so excited already to have you. I'm so excited to have you. And I really am honored that you're listening today. All right. I love you very much. Have a wonderful week.